This is the story of the last of the Babylon stations. The year is 2259. The name of the place is Babylon 5.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrew. Today I'm going to be checking out some more Babylon 5. I'm on Season 2, Episode 15. So let's just get straight into it.
The Interstellar Network News presents 36 Hours on Babylon 5 with your host, Cynthia Talkman, reporting live.
Cynthia Talkman.
This footage was shot from our position on the bridge of the Earth Transport Heyerdahl on final approach to Babylon 5.
Roger, Babylon Control.
Centauri vessel Malios, break off!
Not talk! Not talk!
Oh shit. Blowing up ships?
Conspiracy involving several of these individuals, lies, deception, and the deaths of hundreds of people. All this and more in 36 hours aboard Babylon 5.
I guess I picked the right 36 hours.
36 Hours, sponsored by Interplanetary Expeditions, exploring the past to create a better future.
Seems like a lot of shit went down.
30 minutes ago, a Narn vessel opened fire on a Centauri transport without warning or explanation. Behind me is Dr. Stephen Franklin, Chief of Staff. Dr. Franklin!
For immediate...
Dude, he's busy at the moment. And she's trying to have a conversation with him.
Can you say what the reason was?
Jeez.
Cynthia Torkman, ISN News. Do you have any comment on what just happened here?
No comment at this time. Doctor.
They probably don't even know what happened yet.
We dispatched a fighter wing to apprehend them. We won't know anything more until they're in protective custody. If you will excuse me, please.
Why would they even let her in this area? They're trying to save some lives here. She's getting in the way.
To endanger your people. For no reason.
Then the attack on your transport was completely unprovoked.
Of course.
I doubt that.
You enjoy working with everyone?
Yes. It's a calm, pleasant
One of them over his shoulder.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone get upset here.
Keeping him in check.
Odds makers from New Vegas to Lords of London were predicting it wouldn't last 6 months.
Well, I've never been very much on gambling.
What does that even matter?
Everybody goes into this knowing that tomorrow you could be someplace that you hadn't even heard of 24 hours ago. I've been stationed so many places over the years, I can't even remember most of them.
I think he definitely remembers everywhere he's been.
A lot of people make jokes about spacing somebody, about shoving somebody out an airlock. I don't think it's funny. Never will.
The last 3 years have shown that the station itself is anything but secure. In its first year of operation, there were half a dozen murders, 3 acts of sabotage, including a bomb that blew out 2 levels.
Hell yeah. A lot of stuff's gone down so far.
Since then, there have been 50 deaths by violence.
And there's definitely a lot more stuff coming this way.
They have turned Babylon 5 into a weapons supply post. And we cannot allow this to continue. Even if it means shutting down Babylon 5 completely.
They're running weapons here.
Clearly we've taken a lot of heat, and the cost overruns have been appropriately astronomical. But let's remember that the Babylon project was conceived right after the Earth-Minbari War. At that time, the idea of a diplomatic station does...
I'm sure it costs a lot of money to run that place. Don't know how they're making it back. Their gift shop failed. But they're not going to be making money that way.
If the Minbari War started today, I think things might have gone a little differently. So while I'm not sure how much concrete benefit we really derive from...
They think they can win a war against the Minbari? I don't know why.
To say we still haven't fully recovered from the Minbari War. And we haven't anywhere near the level of technology we would need in the event of another major conflict.
Yeah, they wouldn't stand a chance.
Bari, the Centauri, and God
I don't know what
forbid,
they think they
Morlons
can.
is just plain kidding himself.
You sound angry about it.
No. I'm not.
Well, he should be.
You just wait a few years and you'll hear from everyone who thought that we could have won if they'd have done the fighting.
Except, of course, Captain, we didn't lose the war.
They didn't win it
Minbari
either.
did surrender.
They didn't surrender. They just gave up fighting. Other than what people think they did to make them surrender.
After my brother Ganya was killed in the war, I felt that I had to try and finish what he started. Of course, as my luck runs, the war was over before I saw any action.
Now, Commander, I'm sure there's more to your story than that.
Yes.
But she's not going to be sharing that today. She's not as big as a sharer as Dr. Franklin is.
Nothing is known of the Vorlons. In fact, 3 expeditions sent into Vorlon space over the years have never returned. The Vorlon government said they had met with accidents and suggested no further expeditions.
Yeah.
Compounded by the fact that Ambassador Kosh can only leave his quarters in an encounter suit.
They don't like people knowing things.
We got our first glimpse of the Vorlon as he was leaving his quarters just behind me. This is an ISN exclusive, presented here for the first time.
An ISN News, can we ask you
Yep,
a few
he's
questions?
out of there.
Ambassador Kosh! Did we get that? Tell me we got that. Did we get it?
She actually thought she was going to get some answers out of him.
Because our world is rich with crystalline deposits, many of our cities are cut directly out of crystal formations. During the spring,
crystal cities.
patterns of color caused by the light are breathtaking.
Wonder if they'll actually show that in the series.
I volunteered for this change, in the hope that it would lead to a better understanding between our peoples.
Over 250,000 humans were killed in the war with your people.
It's not as much as I thought there was going to be.
How do you think the families of those victims will feel about your change? That by assuming a human face, you're taking a part of us you're not entitled to. What would you say to them?
I'm sorry. Can we stop this? Please?
Inspection of the destroyed Centauri has found conclusive proof that she was carrying fusion bombs and support equipment for ion cannons, mass drivers, and heavy energy weapons.
They found their proof.
We have already filed a complaint with the Centauri government on the grounds that Babylon 5 is neutral territory and is not to be used as a staging ground.
Listen, Londo will make up some kind of reason why that was happening.
Classified
It will not be
shippings are
tolerated.
transferred outside the station, ship to ship. The risk to Babylon 5 is minimal.
Okay. Not even going to deny it.
Our ships have the right to carry any cargo they choose. We will not surrender our sovereign rights.
They're doing what they always do, using details to distract us from doing what must be done.
This is Babylon 5 space, and here we have sovereign rights.
Our ships will defend themselves against any who try to seize them.
Yeah, shit.
No, we cannot allow those ships to leave here with their weapons. They'll just turn
Yeah, they
right
got to
around
destroy
and
those
use them
weapons
against us.
before they get used against them.
What the hell?
Captain, we need you in CNC. We've got a shooting war going on out here.
Right. Shoot each other down. They're pretty close to Babylon 5.
Heavy weapons on the Narn-Centauri vessels doing battle just outside.
The debris could be hitting Babylon 5.
On a priority 1 alert, and people are being evacuated to shelters. We're en route to CNC to try and cover the battle. As we speak, our vid systems are being plugged into the station's external cameras and communication.
She's walking around like there's nothing happening. Babylon 5's got to take control of this airspace. Having ships fire on each other out here. Yeah, how close it is to Babylon 5.
Any reply yet?
Negative. Hostile forces continue to fire at each other. They've started targeting our ships.
Delta Squadron requesting permission to fire.
Ambassadors Londo and...
Shoot them all down.
Screw them. We have 250,000 people here to defend. If they won't stop this, we will.
Yeah,
all fighters
definitely
open fire.
something.
Fire at will.
Roger, Babylon Control. Delta Squad.
Can't go around letting them shoot it up, please.
Away. This is 7. Target splashed. React Team 12. Go to Blue 26.
Look at how close they are to Babylon 5.
This nonsense has gone far enough.
The nonsense Captain Sheridan referred to is the Narn-Centauri War, which over the past several months...
Yep, which they brought all the way here.
Threatens to spill into other systems.
And I know this place is meant to be neutral territory.
ISN spoke with representatives from both sides.
Guess that's why the Centauri are trying to take advantage of it.
Roughly 150 of your years ago, the Centauri came to our world. Narn was a green and fertile place then. We greeted them in peace.
That was only 150 years ago? I thought that happened a long time ago.
We formed a resistance, learned their secrets, turned their own machines against them, and finally...
I didn't realize it happened so recently. So it makes more sense why they hate each other so much. So what happened hundreds of years ago? Maybe in thousands.
One day my father spilled a cup of hot jala on the mistress of the house. And she had him killed. They took him out, tied his hands together, and hung him from a jalwa tree for 3 days.
Jeez.
Why do you think they invaded back then?
Because the land is strategically valuable, because there are resources that can be cultivated and exploited, but
they needed something from them.
Simply because they can.
When we first met the Narn, they were a primitive people. We gave them technology centuries ahead of their own, took them with us to the stars, taught them laws, civilized them.
Okay.
So you're saying that the Centauri originally came to help the Narn?
Of course.
That's what they always say.
Why we finally left. We wished them well, but the cost, you see.
Then you weren't driven off the Narn homeworld.
The Narn have rewritten history enough, don't you think?
They can't admit it.
More and more irrational, have gone out of their way to harm us, to seize Centauri territory. Finally, we had to take a stand. They were the ones who declared war, remember? Not us.
Okay. Jeez.
We want only peace. Both sides say the same thing, but as we've just seen, the reality is anything but peaceful.
The Centauri definitely don't want peace. They want their glory back.
Practically on top of us.
Reading 1 Centauri battlecruiser.
Dude, my feelings on Londo and Jakar have really changed since the pilot movie that I watched. I liked Londo then. I really disliked Jakar back then. Now it's the opposite.
The minimum possible level of force. But if provoked, we are prepared to use deadly force, even against Babylon 5 itself.
Well, the planet they're orbiting has a massive weapon on it. But I'm pretty sure it's there to protect Babylon 5. So I'm sure if Centauri try to do something, that planet's going to activate.
And he just kept hitting me until I said I was the liar. I just don't know what to do anymore.
Don't worry, Johnny. We'll take care of it from here.
It's an ad for Psycho.
You're special. You're a latent telepath about to come into full bloom.
Am I Johnny, a telepath?
Probably. But to be sure,
Probably.
we're everywhere, for your convenience. We have offices and schools and children's hospitals. We even have mobile testing centers that travel the country. And if he qualifies, we'll give him an education.
It's a lot of people out there looking for psychics.
And we'll pay all his bills for life.
Oh.
Someone who might be a telepath, or think you might be one yourself. Help them get the help they need. Call the Corps.
Can't remember how many telepaths they said they had on Earth.
Brought to you by the Ministry for Public Information and your local Psychor recruitment office.
They still got a lot of people out there looking for them when they come into the powers.
Well, is it true that some of the Senate have suggested that you accommodate the Centauri by releasing their vessels without further searches?
I doubt that the Senate would attempt to undermine my position in these negotiations by armchair quarterbacking.
I think they definitely would.
Sweat for a while.
I hope this works. I know the new defense grid can probably hold them off, but the repercussions...
Yeah, they're bluffing. I can't believe they'd take on the whole station. That'd bring Earth in the side of the Narns, and the last thing the Centauri want is a war on two fronts.
They don't want to make too many enemies at the moment. Unless there's something very important on those ships that they're going to risk it.
Their weapons system is still armed. I don't like this.
Don't know why they had to fly so close to it. Oh, they called their bluff.
Open a channel. Let's be gracious about this.
Captain, any thoughts on the
Second jump.
See, they're always trying to talk when they're in the middle of something. Comes another ship. And then another. That one's a Narn ship.
Narn cruiser. We do not, repeat, we do not require assistance.
Now we got a Narn-Centauri warship here.
Listen to me. We do not need...
Too late. They're shooting at each other. Oh shit, there's a debris. I didn't realize they had blast doors. Lucky if one of them seen that coming.
Narns have destroyed the Centauri cruiser. They're trying to open a jump point.
Can they make it?
Looks like the Narn won that one.
Jump engines are malfunctioning.
But they can't get out of here. Yeah, well. I guess they didn't make it either. They both destroyed each other. Just like the vision that Londo had, where him and Jakar are killing each other.
Now that we know that, we can make sure it doesn't happen anymore. We learn. It's what humans do.
Misunderstandings aside,
Misunderstandings.
we must simply work harder to make sure we communicate with one another, to prevent this sort of tragic situation from ever happening again. Violent attack by
It's so hard to
non-forces
communicate with
is
the
an
Centauri.
unacceptable response to a peaceful protest by my government.
The job of Babylon 5 is not to enforce the peace. It's to create the peace. This place was built on the assumption that we could work out our problems and build a better future.
They're not really doing a good job at the moment.
See, in the last few years, we've stumbled. We stumbled at the death of the president, the war, and...
Still finding their way.
I'm Cynthia Torkman, ISN News. Good night.
Alright, there we have it. Another episode down. Thanks so very much for watching. If you made this fun video, give it a like, comment down below, subscribe, and I'll catch you next episode. Bye.